All right, welcome to the Swimming from Home talk show. I'm here with three coaches and two swimmers from the Columbia Swim Club in Columbia, Missouri. I guess first off, if we all just want to go around, introduce ourselves, and kind of say how we're doing today or this week, and going on week 4 of quarantine. How you're hanging in there?
Well, I'll start since I'm sitting next to Coleman. I'm doing really well. I'm very fortunate that I'm in a spot where it's really pretty. The weather's nice and sunny outside, so that always helps. Initially, it was a little bit of a struggle. We were on the pool deck, and there was rumbling suddenly that Mizzou was going to close down. And my first thought was, "Oh man, I hope that doesn't mean sectionals is going to be canceled." And then it was about a half hour later, they came out and they said, "Guess what? No sectional meet." And I stood there, and there were a bunch of coaches on the deck, and they were really complaining. They didn't understand the enormity of what was happening. And my girlfriend is a nurse, and had been keeping me informed that this might get really ugly. And so I'm standing there trying to explain to a couple coaches that this is a little bigger than swimming, but I'm still trying to wrap my mind around, this is really difficult. This is going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult for me. It's going to be difficult for the swimmers, and it's going to be difficult for the community, And finally, Todd and I walked over to the swimmers and let them know that there was not going to be any swimming, and that was hard. And after we told them, we let some of them shared their emotions with us, and Todd was really good, and I just kind of stood there and I didn't know what to say. I was kind of in shock. And they all decided to go out to dinner together, which I thought was great. And so I met them there. I handed out their T-shirts. And I got in the car and I drove to my girlfriend's house just to get some comfort, I guess. And I've been there ever since. And she lives on a lake, so I look at the lake all day, and I sit on her deck, and I play with her dog. And I do a lot of Zooming. So I'm in a good spot. Once I got over the initial shock, things are good. So next.
Go next. Wait, do I need to introduce myself?
Yeah, sure.
I'm AJ Husky. I'm a swimmer on Columbia Swim Club. And I'd say I got pretty much the same story as Gary. I'm doing pretty good right now, but that first day of our break was pretty hard. It was almost heartbreaking because I was potentially gonna swim the most important meet of my life, and it just kind of got taken away, and it was so hard to wrap my head around that. But then as weeks go on, it gets easier. It's like I'm fine now, but and I'm kind of getting used to the whole working out at home and doing these Zoom workouts with Gary and Todd and stuff like that. And it's more motivating, and there's a lot of ups and downs with my motivation in this break, because it's hard to stay motivated while you're not in the water and with your teammates, and it's hard to do those workouts and stay in shape all by yourself. But then once you get in those Zoom meetings, it's a lot better. So that's my motivation is just going up and down, but usually it's up, and I've been feeling good lately. So yeah, everything's been going well.
I completely agree with him on some parts. When I first found out it was canceled, I was really, really sad because I was at the pool deck when it happened. Not all of us were, but some of us were. And after we got over the initial shock, we started goofing off again. We obviously took the medals and took pictures with them like girls do. And I said something to Reagan about going out to eat, and so we all got ready out to go eat. And that was a really fun night for all of us. We all just kind of bonded, and it It was really nice. But my motivation has been up and down a lot too. It's kind of been that way for a long time anyway, but right now it's really up and down for me. I've been organizing my room a lot, so I have this whole board over here with team workouts and then other workouts that I've been doing. And I have things that I have to write down every day, something that motivates me to try to get down the habit of doing this at home, because it is different and it sucks not being in the water. It really does. And I can't wait for it to warm up so I can jump in the pool or get in the pond with my cord and just swim against it. I'm so excited for that.
I'll go next. I'm Todd Kramer. I'm an assistant coach here with CSC. These last couple weeks have been actually pretty good, getting into a routine of doing the Zoom Dryland. So we go 3 days a week with our senior groups that practice at Mizzou, and then 3 days a week with some age group kids that practice at Mizzou. So we have 6 days each week where we're getting on at a regular time, basically when practice would normally be happening anyway. And getting that routine back has been really, really important. You know, we also have our weekly staff meetings on Thursdays, and I've had some stuff with Missouri Valley coaches and with the Mizzou coaches. So once I got into that routine, it was good. I'll be honest, the first 2 weeks were not great. You know, we weren't able to provide online dryland training yet because we were sorting out the insurance issues. And, you know, I live alone with my cat, so my interaction was rather low. But towards the end of that week, people started kind of figuring out, you know, I was reaching out to people were reaching out to me, just talking to people on the phone helped a lot. And once we got back into our routine, it's been good. I shouldn't say great, it's been good. Because there's still, you know, the anxiety of not knowing when this is all going to end. But being able to provide a chance for our athletes to work out together, feel a bit of sense of community, not just for them, but I think for the coaching staff as well, has been really good. Just getting to see people's faces and talk to them, and you know, a lot of the parents have reached out with emails just thanking us for what we've been able to do for the athletes and the kids. So the last couple of weeks have been a lot better.
I'm Sarah Smith, and I'm the head age group coach for Columbia Swim Club, and I coach primarily developmental, 12 and unders. And it has been, I have a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old, so there has not been a dull moment since this started for me, just because that's how my life is right now. But I also have been going to Hickman High School pool every day for 20 years with very few breaks, and this is by far the longest I've been off that pool deck since I started coaching for Columbia Swim Club in 2000. And it's been very strange because I'm very, that's just such a big part of my life. And I heard sectionals was canceled. I was actually locking up Hickman, and I still can't wrap my mind around the fact that was the last time I locked it up, and now it's been more than 30 days. But we have been doing developmental dryland workouts, which has been really fun. It's a very different sort of way of thinking about things because you are basically having to teach every exercise before you ask a kid to do it to make sure that they're doing it right. And so I tried lots of different things, but typically I've been filming myself doing the workouts, which has been apparently is what the kids like the most, and also I think is probably hilarious when they watch them. Because I'm just kind of a mess when I do them, but it's actually been a lot of fun. And I think having those workouts to look forward to, and then the in-person Zooms we're doing with the kids, which is really fun with 12 and unders. It's just a whole other ball game. It's the highlight of my week is coming up with ways that we're going to help these kids get better at swimming off the pool deck, and seeing their faces and the crazy things they do on Zoom when they're not.
Yeah. So I know that I have, I've been staying with my girlfriend since this started about 4 weeks ago. And last week we actually decided that I would stay at my house for the week and she would stay at her place. And that was when I started to really feel isolated, because I have 2 roommates, but I didn't interact with them a ton. And so that was when I kind of hit my low point. And you guys talked about motivation and just kind of being lonely general. And that kind of all combined there for me last week. And it was a pretty tough spot to be in, just mentally and motivation wise. And so it does feel like it's been kind of a roller coaster for myself and for a lot of people. So what have you guys done that has helped kind of level out, not even, get you to that high, but just kind of be it a constant to where you're able to function and really take it day by day successfully?
Well, one of my teammates, Mara, she made a schedule to follow every day. And a few days after that, I decided to do it because my life runs by a schedule. I wake up, drive to Columbia, drive to school, drive back to Columbia, and come back home. And I do that 6 days. And so not having a structured day really threw me off. And so after I saw Mara make her schedule, I made mine similar to what I do. I tried to do like my normal day where I work out in the morning. I tried to still get up a little bit early, even though it wasn't 4:30. And then I had scheduled school time and then just normal time. I've been doing a lot of things where I'm trying new things or like cooking new things. So I'm still I'm following a schedule to keep myself on track, but I'm also incorporating new things into my life, which is fun.
I got being out of my routine. I couldn't sleep. That was my biggest problem. I'd go to bed and I could fall right to sleep and then I'd wake up and it's like, what in the world is going on? And I think a lot of it is what Kaylee just said. You get out of your routine. I was used to getting up at somewhere between 4:30 and 5 o'clock in the morning. And here I was now, when I initially started, I got up at the same time. And then as time went on, I just kept sleeping later and later. And I was getting out of bed at 8:30, sometimes even 9 o'clock. And it's like, I don't know why I can't sleep. So I started to get up. This week, I started to make myself get up at 5 o'clock again. And it makes me feel a lot better just to be back in that routine and do the things that I was doing in the morning when we were swimming, whether it's making workouts or watching videos or reading something about swimming. It just got me back in the routine. And then having the Dryland that we do on Zoom at 4 o'clock made my life more back to the normal schedule. Even though it's much different, it still gives me a schedule to follow and a routine to follow. You talk about all the time, talk to the kids about, do you have a routine before you swim? And they all say, yeah, no, yes, whatever the answer is. Well, now as we get into this time when life is much different, the more you can go back to a routine, the better you feel, I feel.
Mm-hmm.
So.
We planted a giant garden. We figured if this is ever a good year to grow our own food, it might be this, and we have the space to do it because we live out in the country. And so we have, I don't know, some, 30-foot rows of onions and potatoes, and we have pepper starts and tomatoes and strawberries and all kinds of stuff. It's been really, it's felt really good to be outside and be in the dirt because it just makes you, I don't know, just kind of takes you away from whatever's in your head. And there've been some days where we've been planting trees and doing all this stuff, and I'll come in, my hands will just be, caked in dirt, and it'll be pretty good. My kids will be caked in dirt. It's great. I recommend dirt.
Yeah, I'll agree that the routine part has been really big, like I talked about earlier. But I've also tried to take this as an opportunity to do some things that I wanted to do that I didn't really have time for before. And I've played a lot of different musical instruments over the years, and I have a pretty decent collection. And so I've gotten back into that. A couple of years ago, I tried to learn the saxophone and didn't have enough time to devote myself to it. And so now I'm actually able to make some sounds that sound like music on a saxophone, which has been nice feeling that progress there. So getting the chance to kind of, get back into that has been good. I try to get outside. There's a lot of bike paths around here in Columbia, whether it's the trails or a lot of streets have bike lanes. So I've been out biking a lot, and actually I kind of feel like since I've been going out so little in my car, I kind of feel like I'm back to where I was a few years ago when I rode my bike everywhere, didn't have a car, because I'm on my bike way more than I am in my car again. So that's been kind of nice.
Yeah, I've been just trying to keep myself busy. Like whenever we were swimming again, I was always busy. I was always doing something, like every day. But now it's just I have to find new ways to keep myself busy because it just feels weird to not do anything. And now we're actually painting almost our whole house, so that's kind of keeping
We are too.
right now. So right now I'm doing that. I don't know what I'm gonna do after we finish painting, but I'll figure it out. But yeah, I've just been trying to keep myself busy, whether it's working out or painting or just playing with my dog or whatever, hanging out with my family, playing board games and stuff, just stuff like that.
What about you,
Yeah.
Coleman? What are you doing?
Well, our newest thing is we found out that Hosmic, my partner's neighborhood, has a community tennis and basketball court. And so we played tennis for the first time either of us had played it in our lives yesterday. And that was good. You know, I think we have quite a bit of like home workout equipment. She has some dumbbells. We got a pull-up bar. She has a jump rope. And so it's kind of funny, like this leads into the next question I was going to ask, but so we try to stay fit. She has 2 dogs and we take them on walks through the neighborhood. I've been trying to read more. The first couple of weeks I've watched so much TV, and like I feel like I'm maxed out on Hulu and Netflix and movies. So I finished a book last night, and that's been nice just to take some time to actually read. But you know, I feel like some of the things you normally do, such as working out, you still incorporate into your schedule, but we've done it very differently, or we've had to find ways to do it very differently. So the question is, have you found anything? Have you found ways to do those things differently that you think you will carry with you once this period ends? And for example, like, Hosmic said, the first thing I'm going to do when this ends is cancel my gym membership because I actually like working out from home. Like, this has been really great. Like, I can go at my own speed, and it's like I don't have to take time to go to the gym, and so I think you've kind of had to find ways to do things differently. So I'm curious as to what you all have found out that you actually, really like doing. And it's like, I want to continue doing this even when I don't have to stay home all day.
In that aspect, it's funny because, people look at Columbia Swim Club, at least in our area, and they say, oh, they got this great facility, and they get to swim in Mizzou's pool and they have all these advantages that nobody else has. Well, that's not true. I mean, we get to swim at Mizzou, but just because water is water. But, we're always looking for places to do Dryland, and where can we do it and who can help us out and all these things. And to me, these Drylands that we're doing on Zoom are really I feel they're very productive. Mm-hmm. And the kids, I think, are doing them better and harder. Maybe it's because that's all they have to do, but they're doing them better than they would whether you're doing them on the pool deck or doing them in a gym somewhere. They're holding themselves accountable in a way that is really great. It's one of the positives. I mean, there's a lot of positives coming out of doing whatever's going on in the world. But I think that the Dryland, we might be able to do this all the time,
Mm-hmm.
Really. And it gives the people an opportunity to not have to get up at 5. Maybe they can get up at 5:15 instead, or just little things that can help them be successful and get some of the rest that maybe they need, or whatever it is. It's just, to me, I've learned that we can do a lot of things through this silly machine that's sitting in front of me.
Yeah, one of the things that has been really fun for me is that I feel like, because I coach developmental kids and often they're very little, you just get a very small bit of time with them on the pool deck, and you're always just trying to teach them to get better at swimming in the water. But there are so many things that we can offer to young swimmers that will make them get better in the water that we can offer them on dry land. And so for the workouts that I'm doing that are not Zoom workouts, I'm doing these stroke progressions using these videos that are readily available on YouTube, you know, with the Race Club, or with Johnny Nitro, who is my hero, and all these guys and ladies who do it. Abby Fish is another really great one. And so I can put together these progressions. Last week was freestyle week. This week is breaststroke week. And if the kids do a thing in the progression, there's no way they're not going to learn a ton about the stroke and how to do it correctly. And, you know, like Gary said, it's a weird situation to be in, but there's a lot of opportunity, I think. And I think that's partly why I have felt really inspired to put these together. And I hope to, you know, carry maybe even some of these Dryland workouts I'm doing in Google Slides forward and say, hey, like in your free time, let's go watch these things and learn how to get better at breaststroke and that sort of thing. I see it as an opportunity in the midst of a weird situation. So.
Yeah, like kind of along those lines, I think it was Gary that mentioned in one of our staff meetings that, you know, this might be an opportunity for kids' technique to get better just through watching video or doing visualization when they're not in the water with the chance to do it incorrectly. You know, when we're trying, so all they're doing is all the visualization is correct. They're watching correct technique.
Mm-hmm.
When we get back, we might be ahead of where we were. We're likely to be ahead of where we were technique-wise. You know, I was also watching a video that had Mark Husky from USA Swimming in it, and he said that he wouldn't be surprised when everybody gets back in if we see the athletes swimming a lot faster, a lot earlier than we thought. One, everybody's going to be more recovered because we haven't been in the water, but you know, breaking down. But you know, we're going to be really fit with all the dry land we're doing. You know, we've also been talking to them about the mental side and hopefully making some good rounds there. And you know, I think what we've been doing a lot with our older kids in Dryland, we're trying to mimic kind of the same physiology that we'd be doing in practice in terms of energy systems. Well, it might be an opportunity when we get back in, we can hit these energy systems on land. It might give me more time to work. I always struggle with balancing getting enough time to work on technique versus getting them in shape, getting them physically prepared for Gary's group. This could be a great way to be able to do both of those things and really get the technique in the water and still do the training and that stuff in the water, but get a little bit more of it out on land where, you know, we might see the training, the overall philosophy be the same, but how we implement it be a little bit different from what we're learning during this time. And then just on a personal standpoint, you know, I think I found, since everybody's having to stay at home right now, I found myself and a lot of my friends, a lot of my family have been reaching out to each other a lot more. You know, I've had friends call me that I haven't talked to in 2 years, and it was amazing, you know. And so all these connections that I'm kind of reestablishing, I'm realizing the importance of that. And that's definitely something that I'm going to carry forward in my personal life, where it's not, you know, something I let fall away when we get back to whatever normal is going to be going forward. But, you know, the importance of these friendships in the family. You know, I spent 2 hours on the phone with my parents on Sunday, and most of it was just BSing, but it was, you know, just great to talk to people. And I think that's something I'm going to carry forward going once we get through to the other end, whenever that may be or whatever that may look like.
Something that, I mean, this is back when, I mean, swimming was done, but Wilson's, a lot of the gyms were still open. A few of my teammates and I, we'd go to Wilson's, and we were just, the atmosphere was so, even though we had lost our meets and everything, holding ourselves accountable outside of that, we were having so much fun, making our own little workouts in the gym. Mara and I actually had a very specific plan. We would swim, and then we'd go run, and then we'd do lifting or abs or whatever we wanted to do. And then whenever that was taken away, a lot of us, we all keep in contact all the time. I talk to all of them all the time. And so still working out on Zoom and stuff, still holding me accountable a lot. I say that all the time, but it is, because sometimes it's hard to get me to do stuff. And so this is getting me to do it, and then it makes me want to do more. And like the YouTube thing, I found this girl on YouTube, MadFit, and she has short little home workouts for targeting different areas of the body. And they're just so nice. They're fast and you feel it. You trust me, you feel it. And it's, even though it's on YouTube, you see someone else and it's almost like you're doing it with someone else. So it makes it a little bit better. And then, but yeah, and also what Todd said, connections. I've been talking to some people more. I've talked to people I haven't talked to in a long time. And it's just a kind of a good feeling, talking to those people. And then also, like what I said a minute ago, finishing a workout that I made myself do if it wasn't a Zoom one. Because like I said, there's my team workouts over there, and then another file has my other workouts that I do. And so it's really, it's fun, it's interesting, changes things up.
Whenever I'm doing workouts, whether it's like on Zoom or by myself or whatever, I've really noticed that I've started to think a lot more about the workouts than I used to. Like I really think about how it applies to swimming and how it applies to like what I do every day rather than just doing the workout. And I actually realized that yesterday that I've been thinking about it a lot, and it really helps me because I can kind of tweak the exercise just a little bit just to make it a little bit better for my swimming. Like whether I'm doing burpees or something, I really try to be explosive in my legs to simulate pushing off the wall or stuff like that. And I think it's really helped. And I've been just doing things like that where I just think about what can I do to kind of simulate a swim practice or simulate doing something in swimming. And actually the other day I built a little mechanism on my porch or my patio, whatever you want to call it. I don't know if you saw it, Coleman. It was Gary posted it on the CSC Instagram.
Okay.
But it was like, I saw Zane Grothy do something like it. He did like a pulley system.
I did see this.
But I didn't do the pulleys. I had these bands that connected to one of my balusters and I set up a ladder and a walkboard, and I laid on the walkboard, and I was like swimming with the bands in my hand with tension all the time. So I was just laying down there, and it was actually like just like I was swimming. But
yeah, you got me doing that yesterday. I found a band and I was like, ooh, I wonder what this would feel like. I can hardly do streamline now. These muscles are so like,
yeah,
messed up.
It was kind of mentally refreshing to kind of get those muscles going again. And just like I closed my eyes and I was like, wow, it really feels like I'm swimming right now. And it was great. But yeah.
That's awesome. Hosmic has a small pool in her backyard, and I just ordered a bungee yesterday, so I am also hoping to get the feeling of swimming going again. Yeah. So maybe a good way to end this would be what is 1 or 2 or 15 things that you're looking forward to the most, once I guess swimmer specific, once we can get back into pools again.
I think
I'm looking.
Oh, go ahead, Kaylee.
Something that I really miss. It's so simple, but it's something that's always a little fun when we get to the wall in between sets or in between intervals. Just like the goofiness of us on the wall, of us all talking, something dumb that one of the boys say, or us ignoring something that the coaches say. I don't know. It's just goofy. It's so fun, and it's not having that's a little weird. But I mean, on the Zoom call, we've all kind of broken out of our shell again, and the goofiness is back on there. So it's different, but it's not a whole lot different. So that's fun.
I'm definitely looking forward. I mean, first, obviously, just finally seeing everybody in person again. But I'm still hopeful, even though realistically this might not be the case. But still hopeful we'll get some time out of Oakland, because my favorite things in the summer, like I love coaching outdoors, and just seeing that Oakland sits up so high, so you get to see this beautiful sunrise a lot of days, and I'm rather obsessed with birds, so just seeing the birds all around. There's a bunch of finches that have laid their nest in the swimming pool in the how am I forgetting this
The kiddie pool.
word? What? The slide. How did I forget?
Animals at the bottom of the pool.
that lay there, put their nests in there. There's also this mockingbird that's been out there every summer for the last 3 or 4 summers. Getting back out and just enjoying this, the smell of the chlorine and being around the coaches and, obviously coaching the kids, but just the little things like Kaylee was talking about, the goofy stuff, Gary and I giving each other a hard time on the pool deck. Everybody making fun of me because I give them a lot of material to work with on that. I miss the boys in my group started doing a sing-along in the locker room after practice every day. And it started off with the national anthem one day. The day was Bruce Springsteen, just getting to see those things again. Probably the little things that annoyed me before won't annoy me quite so much because, you kind of took everything for granted. Not giving you guys free reign to annoy me when we get back in the water. Okay. But
We'll hold you to that.
well, you'll probably have a little bit more leeway. So
I can't wait to just start working hard again. I never realized how much I miss it. It sucks not getting your butt kicked every day, but I mean, it doesn't sound like it sucks, but it does suck for me because even though you're doing workouts at home, it's just not the same as like a swimming workout. Nothing compares to
the satisfaction you get from working hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing compares to it. Like in the moment, it's horrible, but then after you just
afterwards, I never thought I'd say I'd miss Oakland.
Yeah.
Never. And I've only been there for 1 summer.
Yeah. I don't know.
I look forward to what's that first day of practice going to look like?
Yeah.
What is it really going to be a practice, or is it going to be free swim with a bunch with lane lines in the way? Are they going to just be out of control, happy to see each other? And that'll be great. Whatever it is, I can't wait to see what that day is.
I just can't wait to give a bunch of 10 and unders high fives. I miss just the positive energy you get from a bunch of age groupers that are excited to be at the pool and excited to get in and excited to learn something new. And every one of them wants to give you a high five before they go. And they all want help with their caps and they just kind of crowd around and I miss them a lot. I also miss Hickman. It's weird. They never thought
I don't know if I could say the same.
I miss Hickman, especially now that the air handling system's fixed. To enjoy it. But yeah, I really cannot wait to have a bunch of little kids give me a high five. I'm excited.
And you, Coleman, what about you?
That's a good question. I'm looking for the pool I swim at is outdoors, and so I'm looking forward to swimming in the sun again. I don't think I think swimming outdoors is pretty much second to none. I love getting to be in the water outside, so I will be excited once I can do that again.
Yeah.
Coleman, you do these interviews and they're awesome, and it's really nice to see that you are asking everybody about how they feel and their mental health. I hope you're taking care of yourself.
Well, I'm doing my best. The basketball tennis court helps a lot.
I would like to watch. There's a meeting there.
Yeah, maybe in a month.
SwimSwam.
Yeah, maybe in a month. We were
a little practice.
We weren't so good, but we're getting there. We're getting better for sure. Well, awesome. Thank you all so much for your time. This has been quite a delight.
Yes,
Thank
I
you.
enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was great seeing you.